Hi guys, welcome back to T&G Productions. My name is Tom, and in this video we're going to be covering Maladum by Battle Systems. Now I'm going to show you a short video which is an example tutorial how to play with Colin, who is the game designer. It's part of a longer recording session I did when I went to visit them, the full game of which will go up later, but this will give you a short snippet of exactly what to expect. Okay, so this is our adventuring party for today's mission. Who have we got then, Colin?
Okay, so in the middle we've got Baron. He's your Maladum, your wizard, for a want of a better word. He's kind of the, early on the wizards are not particularly powerful, but they will kind of, as they gain in their experience, they will really become the glue that holds your party together. So that one's Baron, and he's, like most Maladum, a bit grumpy. Then on your left here, we've got Colin. Colin's your classic kind of
beater.
Yeah, he's your guardian, your soldier kind of. It's all about swords. He's the doesn't necessarily go with magic much, and so on and so forth. And then on this side, we've got Sirio. He's kind of fits your elf class. He's actually a genetic descendant from kind of our firstborn, our sci-fi kind of alien, as it were, fitting into that elf class, or the elders we call them. And he is. We've got him as a marksman, so he's your ranged ability, as it were.
So we've got tank mage ranged, basically.
Yeah.
Nice classic party setup.
Absolutely, yeah. And your adventures will grow as you can have four, and so on. So.
Who are these misfits that are lurking in the shadows then behind them?
So basically, kind of in rank order, the lowest rank we've got these guys here, which are the Lamenters. The Lamenters are your kind of rank and file. They're what you've got the most of. They're not particularly powerful, but they are persistent, and they will just come straight out of the ground at you.
Dangerous in numbers as well.
Absolutely, and there is a chance they can poison you as well. And then next to that, we've got the Myria. The Myria are kind of an amalgamation of whatever the Maladum, we'll have a look at in a second, can draw together with magic. And maybe there's not a full skeleton or something hanging around, so a bit of driftwood, a bit of weaponry, some vines.
Anything sharp and nasty.
Absolutely, and it just pulls it together into someone that can cause some damage or something. Then over here, so this is the Myria. Over here we've got the Hellfont. This is a little bit different. This is the Maladum actually taking basically dead bodies and stitching them together into these beasts, then putting chemicals on their back so they can spew fire out at you. So they'll set you on fire.
Sounds delightful. Absolutely.
And speaking of the particular character, the Maladum in the background here. Now the Maladum is, when he comes into play, if he comes into play, he will kind of keep his distance and just really annoy you. He's kind of powerful. It's very hard for you to defeat.
He's operating behind the scenes for most of the game, isn't he?
He is indeed. And if he does come out, he'll always move as far away from you as possible before he tries to make any attacks. And then so he's always kind of moving away in the distance. As you'll find out outside the core game, he can transmogrify into some absolutely horrific, nasty things. But for now, he's in control of everyone. And of course, you've got, this possibility that you could get something like this rot troll.
Nope.
That might come in, and as you can imagine, this guy is just a beast beyond beasts.
Yeah. So we're going to get our board set up, and we'll get into the game. And here we are, all set up. Then now we're midway through a game, aren't we?
We are indeed, yeah. We're a couple of 3 rounds in
the thick of it.
Yes. It's not too bad at the moment. It's not too aggressive. There's just a couple of enemies on the board, but the dread track's going to move into the next level, so that might happen.
Yeah, we're in disquiet at the moment, so but I think distress doesn't sound encouraging coming up.
No, distress is okay. Once you've experienced the higher levels, you'll be quite happy with distress. Yeah.
So, what's the first phase that we need to kind of go into then?
Okay, so the first thing you do is we're going to grab one of these pegs here, and we're going to pop it in the hostility at the beginning of every round, and we'll take an event card, which is going to let us know what's happening. And because we're still in disquiet, the first level is all the way from disquiet to distress. Place a Lamenter at the nearest empty grave point to an adventurer. It activates immediately and will activate again in the normal phase. So this is just really just, you know, one of these lovely lamenters just like popping out of the ground and having a little go. So
this is the reanimation card coming in then. So what, someone's just popped out.
Absolutely. And there's a grave point indicated by these red squares, which will be grave points on the when we've got our new game map. This is the nearest one at the moment, so I'm just going to pop that on there, and then this activates out of the normal NPC turn. It activates immediately.
Okay.
They only get one action, but they have got an ability called First Strike. So if they make contact, they're going to attack you. And we've got here this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This guy's nearer, so he's going to go 1.
Colin's going to get hit in the back.
3. Yeah. And I'm going to roll 2 dice for that. Okay, and you're going to take 1 hit. Now, is Callum wearing any armour?
He has got armour, and it's armour value of 1.
So you remove the 1 hit, leaving you with no hits.
Hey.
So it's okay. It's okay.
But I do have this guy right over my shoulder.
He's
now.
Literally like,
tapping you on.
Tapping you on the shoulder there. So, okay, so that's the event phase done. That could have been a lot worse.
That could have been a lot worse.
Events are quite severe. So now it's going to be over to your adventurers. You've got 3 adventurers, and you can activate them in turn, any sequence or order that you like.
Right, so we've got Beren, who's kind of our support piece here.
Yeah.
He's already kind of blessed Sirio over here, who's kind of eyeing up a Revenant.
He is.
And then we've got Callan, who's going to have to fight first.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you know, we've got a very simple objective here. We've got the actual game objective is to get to these pillars and take these 2 objective tokens. They're going to represent a crystal.
Yep.
And once you've got both of those crystals, they need to be taken to the little lever over here and inserted. You pull the lever, and it's actually the local village have sent you down here because the water supply to their village has been diverted by the Maladum, who's using it down here. So we're freeing up this.
Freeing up the water.
And if we can do that and get back to the village, we're going to get a great reward. You haven't done either of those yet, which is fine.
I'm trying my best. I'm getting there.
It's fine. So at the moment, you've got not great equipment, and you've got some
chests nearby.
You've got some chests. So you probably need to deal with the threat and then get into those chests and see if we can get some better equipment.
So I can move any direction I want with these.
Absolutely.
So I've got Sirio. Sirio moves forward, but he gets +1 when he's got no armour on.
He does indeed, yeah. And you're going to get 2 actions, so you could, you know...
So do you think he could feasibly get to this chest, or do you think it's safer for him to go to this one?
It's certainly safer for him to get here because this guy is only going to move 4. He's not going to reach him.
Yeah.
It'll reach him next turn. You could get there and search that in 1 turn, which is great.
I think that's probably a sensible action, isn't it?
I would say from an equipment point of view, yeah, I would certainly do that.
So I'm going to move just to this side of it.
Yep.
Just so then I'm going towards the objective, and I'm going to search.
Okay, so in order to search, you can literally take the little crate, open it up, and see what you've got.
So we have got a stone hammer, and we have got some studded leather jerkin.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, now that's pretty good because you've not got any armour.
No, Sirio doesn't have any, so I think
and the armour value on it is...
It's armour value 1, so it's the same as what Callan's got.
That's pretty good.
So I think I might... Well, donning it's going to cost me an action.
It is. So pop that into your tray, just into your tray, because you're just holding it at the moment, and you've got a stone hammer.
Stone hammer, which is a value of 1 extra to the attack, but I can
heavy hit with
it. Yeah.
And you've actually only got ranged weapon at the moment, so that's handy, and you've got plenty of space. So why not take it all? Okay, so you've moved 1 action to the chest.
Yep.
You've used your second and last action to open the chest and take your goods. You need an action to put the armour on. You probably have to do that next turn. You have still got an effortless action, which you can do things like open doors and things. But as there's nothing you probably want to do with that, you can spend it to move, take a step, basically.
I think I'll go slightly closer to where I need to be going next turn.
That's it. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So, and that would be activated. So pop your activation token on there.
That's Sirio ready to go.
That's all he can do at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other things that he can do. He's got a skill peg there. He could use that to take an action and shoot against here and stuff. But you've only got 1 skill peg because he's quite
I don't want to risk him
a rookie.
at this stage.
Yeah, you might need that to get out of jail a little bit later on.
I think we've got Callan over here.
Yeah.
I think Beren can actually buff him, can't he? He can kind of make him blessed.
He can. So if you want to kind of give him a bit of a boost, you can use your blessed spell. So what you're going to do is you're going to spend a magic point. Be aware that as you're spending that magic point, the first magic point is put in here. So when I now spawn my next
We're
enemies,
now in distress.
There's going to be more enemies just because you spent that magic peg. But you spent a magic peg. First thing you need to do is roll the magic dice. Magic is very difficult. Okay, so the first thing that's happened is that has really stressed you out. It's overloaded you a little bit mentally. So not only does the spell not work, so you don't get to bless Colin, but you also are going to take a fatigue token.
He gets a splitting headache as he's
Absolutely.
trying to draw on the energies around.
Yeah, so that was an action to use that spell.
Okay.
And
Great success.
now you're fatigued. You've got one action left, but in order to remove the fatigue token, you need to spend an action.
That makes sense. So if I spend an action to kind of take some quick paracetamol.
Absolutely, yeah. That's your action's gone, because unfortunately magic is tough. As you get much higher level Maladar, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to control, you're going to have things that can control that, you're going to be able to manipulate that dice.
Lovely.
Okay, but right now you're just still quite a novice. You have still got an Everless action left. You could make a move. Best you could do is move back, but this guy's still going to reach you if he goes for you. You could bless yourself.
So I can kind of take another risk with it.
Well, that spell is just an effortless action to bless yourself. So if you want to risk it, spend another magic peg. It won't advance the hostility because that's been done.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Track,
So we'll spend a peg. So I'm rolling the dice again.
Absolutely. Nothing happens, which is great because it means there's no ill effects. And you get to take a blessed.
So what does bless do then?
Okay, so you're going to pop that into your stasis effects. And at the end of the round, we always check status effects because you might be on fire or poisoned or something terrible.
Did you say you had a game the other day where someone was caught in a net on fire and knocked out?
Yeah, so Sirio actually
had a bad day.
He did. He only had a couple of health points left, and I was at a turning point where I really should have left the game, and I decided to stay. One extra round than I expected, and that was enough to lose my adventure.
Just wipe him.
So basically what happened, the event card sprung a trap. He was unlucky enough to be chosen to spring the trap. So he ended up upside down. But just before that happened, a health font had hit him, got a critical hit, which set him on fire. And he couldn't get out the net because there was no one there to help him. And so for the next turn, in the assessment phase, the fire took its effect. And he ended up dying in the net because he was on fire or being defeated. And I left him there.
That's an incredibly bad day at the office.
It was a horrible. I was actually quite upset about that. But indeed. So to answer your question, the blessed means that when someone's blessed, if they're attacked or when you're making rolls, it gives you this ability to re-roll a dice that you're not happy with. It's that kind of fate. You're blessed. So things went slightly better than they should have done.
Well, speaking of bad days at the office, Colin kind of has to deal with this fellow.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah, because if you move away, you're going to get an attack of opportunity. So you might as well deal with him. And these guys have got no armour. So he's holding a...
He's got a sword.
Okay.
And it's got the ability to roll 2 dice, but it has got this icon with kind of yellow flames around it, or yellow kind of...
Okay, so that means that if you want to, you can roll 3 dice, but there's a risk that you might break the weapon. Now, the good thing about these guys is the Lamenters, they've got no armour. So 2 dice is almost always enough to take one out. So I wouldn't risk breaking your weapon.
So when we attack, we always roll blue first, and then any additional dice to these reds.
Absolutely, yeah.
See how we do? We get 2 successes. Well, I cleave him in twain.
I reckon his head come off. So we'll put him over there. So that's your first action.
It is.
So you've got an action and an effortless action left.
Now, searching is a full action, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So I think it's worth me standing near to this in the hope of then...
yeah, absolutely. What you could do is you could take one step towards it.
Yes.
Then you could use your second action to just generally search the room, which means you get to dip into this little bag. Then the next
I'm ready to go next turn.
You can do effortless action and have another
That's fantastic. So we'll take an effortless for a step.
Yeah. One thing you are doing is stepping off a grave point. So if I roll a spawn, something might come next to you. But that's a risk. There's other places.
We'll take the risk.
Yeah.
He said famous last words. And we'll search the room.
Okay, so we're going to grab a little search counter here to mark the room is searched because you can only search it once.
And the room gives us... Aetius's hammer, by the looks of things, which is beastly.
How did you draw that? I've been trying to draw that out of the bag. At the beginning of a campaign, things get added to the game that bag, and I'm aware there's a rare item in there, and that is a rare item.
It's a rare item, is it?
Yeah,
lovely.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk us through what this hammer is?
So basically, it's a great hammer anyway because it doesn't take up much space in your inventory.
Yep.
It rolls 3 dice as standard. As a heavy hit, you can roll 4 dice. 4 dice is getting pretty serious. But what you can also do with this is, if you've got a magic peg, you can, which he has.
He does have one.
Yeah, you can spend a magic peg, rolling the dice. So there's still risk to it. And it means that you can effectively hit anyone within 5 squares around you, and then the hammer comes back to your hand.
Throws the hammer, yes.
Absolutely. So that is a great find.
So I'll be keeping that. That's a nice thing to find on the floor.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm quite kind of jaded that you just pulled that out of your bag.
It balances out the headache that I had earlier.
It did a little bit, yeah, more than balances that out.
So that will conclude my actions for this round.
Everyone's activated.
Yes.
Yeah. You moved your effortless action, didn't you? And you've done a general search, which is great. So you're finished. Now it's the turn of the Revenant. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll some dice, and what that's going to do, I'm going to look at the dread tracker in distress, and it tells me how many of what level characters come up. So I'm going to start for rolling a Lamenter. So let's do that. And actually, nothing comes out,
Good news.
which is great, especially, as close as you are. And then but you do always get one Myria, so I'm going to roll for that. That comes in at spawn point, and that comes in at 2. Okay, so if we look around the board for 2, it's just here.
Right near the objective, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. So he's going to... And now what I'm going to do is it's quite low level. That's all that's happened, and you were lucky with those Lamenters. So I'm going to activate all of my characters in rank order. This is the highest rank. This guy gets 2 actions. So he's going to move towards the nearest person in line of sight, and if there's no line of sight, he's going to move towards the nearest person. He has got line of sight, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, first action, 1, 2, 3, 4, second action.
Oh dear.
And that's as far as he can get, so you're kind of safe. I've then got my Lamenters. This guy's in line of sight, and is the nearest, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and not quite get to you, which is fine. Just 1 action. Unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, and he's got the first strike ability. So I'm gonna have your wizard, and we're gonna see what happens.
It's gonna get tasty.
Okay, so I've got 2 hits on that. Your wizard is not wearing physical armor, which is great because that gives them some pretty bad effects. But he has got magical armor, which is activated, and so he's warded at the moment, but only level 1. I've hit you twice, which means that the first hit is protected, the second one will get through, and it will take down your armor, and it will mean you'll have to spend magic pegs to kind of reactivate that. You do have a choice where you can spend a magic peg to kind of boost its ability up to 2, and then you'll take a fatigue token.
I feel like I might want my magic pegs for spells later, so I feel like
you're going to get one back in the assessment phase. His ability, he's got a skill on his class board, Nanite Mastery, and he's got ability 2, which gives you a passive ability that at the assessment phase you always get one magic peg back. Cool. So you're going to get your magic peg back anyway, so it's up to you whether you take the 1 hit or you boost your armour.
I'll try and boost it.
Okay, so roll the magic dice, and hopefully you will not get an overload.
Yeah, let's not overload it.
Okay, so what actually happens there is it's a very, very powerful effect. It just means that it was as if you spent 2 magical pegs, so your armour is actually boosted to 3.
Lovely.
More
so just
than enough.
rebuff the attack.
Absolutely, yeah.
But my armour now is spent from that action?
No, so you're fine. All you've done is you've boosted up your shield.
Yep.
It's took the attack.
And it's got back.
And it's just, absolutely.
Lovely.
And so you are protected, which is a great result. Okay, so that is all of my characters activated. What would normally happen now, if there's other NPCs on the board, which is not at the moment, like a wandering traveller that you could interact with, or some wandering beasts, I would activate them. There isn't. So we come to the end of that particular round, and we move to the assessment phase. You will check all of your status on your characters. You might be poisoned or wounded, and they would have effects.
Will the bless stay on me?
The bless stays on you for when you need it. You're
Lovely.
Just blessed until you need it. So no ill effects. You activate your characters, and we move on to the second round.
And that'll bring us to the end of this tutorial turn. If you want to see more gameplay, you can see the full gaming session going up on the channel in a week or so's time. But a massive thank you in advance to Colin for his time spent recording, and a massive thank you to you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Well, a massive thank you for watching that video, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find some more, they should be over here. And if you want to support the channel and the content that we create here, there's links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. Take care.